Life's gentle nudges. Sometimes, life doesn't shout when it's time for change. It nudges, and learning to recognize those nudges early can change the direction of your life. But the challenge is that most people miss them completely. Most people expect change to arrive with certainty. They wait for a clear sign, a major event, or a moment that makes the next step obvious. But life often works differently. Before any major shift happens, there are usually smaller signals that appear first. These signals are easy to overlook because they are subtle. They show up as thoughts that return more than once, situations that no longer feel quite right, or a quiet curiosity about something new. These are what I think of as life's gentle nudges. They are not demands for immediate action. They are simply invitations to pay attention. A nudge can appear in several ways. Sometimes it shows up through repetition. You keep thinking about the same idea, the same change, or the same possibility. Even when you set it aside, it returns later. When something consistently returns to your attention, it's often worth asking why. Not every repeated thought is meaningful, but many important shifts begin this way. Another common nudge appears through mild discomfort. Nothing dramatic has happened, yet something feels slightly out of place. A job that once felt engaging now feels draining. A routine that once felt comforting now feels limiting. Conversations begin to feel forced where they once felt natural. These feelings don't always mean something must change immediately, but they are useful signals. They tell you that part of your life may be ready to be examined more closely. A third type of nudge appears as curiosity. You feel drawn toward a new idea, a skill, or a different direction. At first, the interest may seem random or impractical, but curiosity often appears when we are ready to expand beyond what is familiar. Following curiosity does not always require a dramatic leap. Sometimes it simply means exploring something a little further, reading about it, learning about it, allowing yourself to consider it. Small exploration often reveals whether that curiosity has real meaning. Many people miss life's nudges because they expect certainty before taking even a small step. They believe they should feel completely sure before they explore a possibility. But certainty rarely comes first. Awareness usually comes first. Clarity tends to grow only after you begin paying attention and asking better questions. Another reason nudges are ignored is the pace of modern life. When the mind is constantly occupied with tasks, information, and distraction, subtle signals are easy to overlook. This is why moments of quiet reflection are so valuable. They give you the space to notice what keeps returning to your attention. Without that space, important signals can disappear in the background of daily life. It's also important to understand that a nudge is not the same as pressure. A nudge does not force you to make an immediate decision. It simply raises awareness. Sometimes a nudge appears long before any real change takes place. Its role is to bring something into your awareness gradually. This gives you time to observe, reflect, and understand what might be developing. One helpful practice is to occasionally ask yourself a few simple questions. What thoughts or ideas keep returning to my attention? Where in my life do I feel slightly misaligned? What new interests have appeared recently? These questions are not meant to create pressure. They simply help you notice patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. When people learn to recognize life's nudges, they often realize something interesting. Many of the important changes in their lives did not begin with a sudden decision. They began with small signals that appeared quietly over time. At first, those signals seemed insignificant, but eventually they pointed toward a direction that was ready to unfold. Life doesn't always announce change in obvious ways. More often, it introduces new possibilities gradually, through repeated thoughts, through subtle discomfort, through quiet curiosity. Learning to notice these gentle nudges doesn't mean you must act immediately. It simply means you are paying attention to the signals that help guide your next steps. Often, The smallest signals are the ones that lead to the most meaningful changes. And sometimes those signals simply ask us to pause and listen a little more closely. That deeper listening is something we'll explore in another reflection. Thanks for listening.